I didn't used to see discipline as something very desirable. In fact, quite the opposite. When someone was described as disciplined, a grumpy, surly person would come to my mind. However, after reading this book, I discovered how important it is to have discipline. The perspective the book offers is magnificent. Stay here so that you don't regret it in old age, and don't say, "I wish," in the future. In this video, you will find important takeaways and my personal views from the worldwide bestseller, Discipline is Destiny, written by Ryan Holiday. The book begins with an example from mythology, our hero, Hercules. In the story, Hercules comes to a fork in the road. On one path, there is a life of luxury, no pain, no unhappiness, and he will have everything he wants. The other path is less flashy. There are rewards here, but only rewards he earns himself. The journey on this path would be long. It would require hard work and sacrifice. However, this journey would make him the person he was meant to be. In reality, we all face these forks in the road every day. A path that is easy but meaningless, or a path that is difficult but satisfying. To take it further, we have to make a choice between virtue and vice. By the way, I suppose there's no need to mention that our hero Hercules chose the path that would make him the person he was meant to be, the difficult but satisfying one. Now, it is your turn to choose. Self-discipline does not deprive you, it gives you freedom. We can say that today, an average person lives a utopian life compared even to 300 or 200 years ago. We haven't experienced many of the hardships of the past. Yes, of course, there are problems, but to what extent? Socioeconomically, an average person lives a comfortable life in their private property with their personal car without experiencing any heating problems, while both small and large boxes try to entertain them. They gain access to many things with the snap of a finger from where they sit. Look at your life for just a moment through the eyes of an ordinary person who lived 300 years ago. You will realize what a utopian life we actually lead. But despite all this freedom, most of us are unhappy. Perhaps those people who lived 300 years ago were happier than us. So, what do you think we are doing wrong here? This access to everything, without self-restraint or hesitation, causes us to lose our sense of proportion. All these things that are supposed to liberate us only leave us directionless and aimless. Based on this point, there is a concept emphasized in the book, self-discipline. What I understand from this concept is a person's ability to restrict themselves. Yes, having self-discipline is not an easy task. We all struggle to achieve it. However, besides the difficulty of achieving it, its benefits to the person are certainly immense. When you practice self-discipline and don't eat too much, the result it brings you is relief from that uncomfortable feeling of bloating. If you manage to wake up early by practicing self-discipline, you save yourself from feeling unproductive. If you stay away from people who constantly complain, the result it brings you is relief from depressive feelings. You can imagine other things where restricting yourself will bring you a better lifestyle. Self-discipline is not about depriving yourself. On the contrary, it is about maintaining control to open the doors to a world of opportunities. Remember, the strongest one is the one who possesses their own power. Discipline equals freedom. Easy choices now will cause you to live a difficult life in the future. Difficult choices now will allow you to live a comfortable life in the future. If you continue to choose the easy way in life, you won't like where you end up. But if you make difficult choices, make some wise sacrifices and tough decisions, you will begin to improve yourself to achieve something much greater in the end. Undeniably, those who take ownership of their now will win sooner or later. No matter what you think, the first thing to do is to get to work now. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is right now. Discipline is not a punishment. Discipline is a gift. By reining in your worst impulses, you are actually giving yourself the freedom to maximize your life. Being controlled by all those external factors in your life and around you cannot be a way to lead a quality life. How fun can social media be if the number of likes you get on a post determines whether you have a good day or a bad day? The world will try to pull you away from what matters to you at every opportunity it gets, and you will either turn your dreams into reality or be hired to work for someone else's dreams. Self-discipline offers us an escape from all this, a way out of confusion, pessimism, and hopelessness. And this is a gift we can give ourselves. Not tomorrow or next week, but right here, today. However, most people don't think of self-discipline this way. They think of it more as depriving themselves of something. In reality, discipline offers an incredible opportunity to make the time we spend in this world as magical as possible. Constraints and boundaries make everything else possible. For example, letters in the alphabet must be arranged in a way that makes sense. You can't create art by writing random strings of letters. Grammar and syntax are the structures and constraints that make great works of literature possible. Similarly, rigorous exercise and sports bring out something much more beautiful afterward. Restricting your television viewing now can give you very different business ideas when you put your mind to it instead. Another important framework is that self-discipline is synonymous with self-love. You don't discipline yourself because you hate yourself. The opposite is actually true. You set boundaries because you love yourself. You want the best for yourself, and you are ready to do whatever it takes to show that you love and value your future self. You treat yourself like a truly great friend, like someone you are responsible for helping, like someone you want to see succeed. Consistency is a superpower. It is neither inspiration nor genius. The secret superpower that leads to success is consistency. Many people are smart or talented, but not everyone puts in the effort. Therefore, take ownership of your priorities every day. Even if you are tired, busy, or don't feel like you have to, perform that action, even if it is small. A 10-minute run, reading 10 pages of a book. Once these one-offs become a habit, you will see momentum develop. A 10-minute run turns into half an hour. 10 pages of a book evolve into 100 pages. Much of growth is exponential. It is almost invisible at first, but becomes easily noticeable over time. To give an example from myself, when I started this channel in 2019, despite uploading dozens of videos and spending hours and days on this cause, this channel gained neither proper views nor a significant number of subscribers. Although I don't create my content solely for the sake of views, it is a very good feeling when something one puts effort into is also noticed and valued by others. The equivalent of this on YouTube is the number of subscribers and likes. Undoubtedly, these are encouraging in terms of continuity. Later, a leap occurred on the channel. While there were about 1,000 views per day until 2021, it later broke a record with 175,000 daily views. I could have given up at the beginning, saying it wasn't getting any attention, but consistency carried the channel to this point. As long as I continue with continuity, these numbers will probably increase exponentially. Let's look at another example. You can clearly see that going to the gym once and exercising for 10 hours won't work. A single exercise won't get you in shape. But if you do it for 20 minutes a day for 6 weeks, results start to emerge. Start today. You will start to feel it in 2 weeks and see it in 4 weeks. After 6 weeks, people will ask you how it happened. The most important thing to remember here is this. People overestimate what they can do in a day, but greatly underestimate what they can achieve in a year. In the most disciplined people in the world, this awareness is very high. They don't have to see the results of their actions immediately, but they know it works. They become mentally willing to sustain the process. Commit to doing something 100 times. This is called the Rule of 100. The idea here is that you commit to doing something important and do it for long enough. So much so that believing you won't succeed becomes irrational. If you are in trade or selling something, don't you think you would make much more money if you conducted 100 sales meetings every day and continued this for 365 days? If you are a writer, wouldn't you think you would get to a good point at the end of 365 days if you wrote one article every day and continued this for another 365 days? Whatever you do, try to do it every day. Is it hard to do? Absolutely hard. However, even if it's just once a week, Doing squats for a year will give you strong legs and a completely different physique. People know this, but they don't do it. That's exactly where the competitive advantage lies. The good news is that because it's hard, most people don't do it. They don't show up. They can't even do one small thing a day. Yes, you are alone on the track under the rain, but being a leader is, by definition, a bit lonely. That's why it's quiet in the mornings. All the opportunities belong to you. Who is in control of your body? Being self-disciplined regarding your body means increasing your endurance and investing in yourself in the long run. To be able to fight laziness, you must invest in your body. There are many small changes you can make in your life to start conquering your body before it conquers you. First of all, add strenuous activities to your day. It doesn't matter what you do, weightlifting, basketball, long walks, marathons, but it must be physically demanding and a bit uncomfortable. A person should be in pursuit of discomfort. Perhaps you think the goal of success is not to have to struggle, but here's the thing. Too much comfort makes us weak, dependent, and afraid of losing them. You strengthen yourself by being tough on yourself. Moreover, you make it impossible for others to be tough on you. Therefore, test yourself. Take a cold shower. Try sleeping on the floor. You can settle for less. In the end, you become wealthier, freer, and stronger. Do not forget that while investing in your body, you are actually investing in your willpower, because a sound mind is found in a sound body. A strong body doesn't just provide six-packs, it also opens the door to a healthy mind. Afterward, go to bed early, for two reasons. First, to get enough sleep. Be honest, do you perform better when you are well rested or when your eyes are blurred and you are tired? It may sound very ordinary, but getting enough sleep will change your life. You will have more motivation and energy, and you will make better decisions. The second reason is to be able to master those quiet early hours in the morning when your thoughts are freshest and you have the most willpower. If you get enough sleep, you can get up and get to work before the day's frustrations wear you down. Develop your physical self-discipline to soften your mind. When you apply self-discipline to your body, you empower your mind to work at its full potential. These are not just fancy words. Neuroscientist Lisa Feldman Barrett's work has shown that brain functions depend on the body being well. If you are physically exhausted, your brain cannot fulfill its task of regulating your body. Of course, this doesn't mean everything is set once you build a mass of muscle, because there are many people out there who discipline themselves physically, but their lives are not very pleasant. If the mind is constantly at the mercy of distractions, bad moods, or self-sabotaging impulses, it doesn't matter what time you wake up, what you eat, or how much you push your body. In other words, we need to adopt being moderate as a principle. Only when all the pieces are completed does the whole emerge. After taking control of your body, the time has come to work on the next step, governing your mind. This requires maintaining balance in how you feel, think, and react in the midst of the chaos and complexity known as life. The motto, "Keep calm and carry on," is good. Stay calm and keep going. There is a short moment between every stimulus and the reaction you give. I find this very important. Don't react immediately to every stimulus that happens around you. You either use this time to think, pull yourself together, and wait for more information, or you succumb to destructive patterns like taking offense, jumping to conclusions, and blaming others. Bad situations are not fixed by bad reactions given to them. They only get worse. Therefore, know that small moment of patience before reacting. Ask yourself whether what you are experiencing is really true and whether it is as annoying or upsetting as you feel it is. Don't let fear, anger, or prejudice take over your mind, and don't try to achieve perfection. The obsession with not being flawed means missing the opportunity to complete tasks and learn something from them. Instead of trying to be perfect, aim to do your best. Remember, perfect is the enemy of good. Failure does not last forever and is a chance to grow. The truth is that everyone can improve themselves. Socrates knew that he didn't know much, but he was sure of one thing: we cannot remain as we are. Believing or not believing in this becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you believe you can develop, you will develop. If you don't believe you will develop, then you are also right. You cannot develop. Self-discipline does not mean much in the real world unless it is balanced with kindness, compassion, and love. Being moderate is not an easy task. At times, people may not understand your choices or may not agree with you. You will realize that everyone is on their own journey and doing the best they can. You are not here to judge. You are here to accept them and inspire them to be better. A very short story. A philosopher, while walking in Athens one morning, encountered a man who mocked him for a mistake he had made. The philosopher paused and said, "Remember, you are not talking to a bad man. As a self-disciplined person, you hold yourself to high standards, push your limits, and accept no excuses. However, this does not mean you should hurt yourself or hate yourself when you make a mistake. If you witnessed a friend making a mistake, would you tell them they were terrible? You probably wouldn't. Instead, you would try to convince them that it wasn't the end of the world and encourage them to keep going. It is useful for you to use this language toward yourself as well. So, be your own friend. Environment is destiny. You have probably heard the saying somewhere that you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. It is useful to go a little beyond this idea. The books you read, the podcasts you listen to, the food you take into your body, and much more are included in this. Your environment is constantly influencing you. The quality of your inputs is important, very important. Of course, one thing is a fact. Most of the time, we cannot choose our environment. We are born in certain places, as certain people. We are exposed to certain ideas and traditions. Therefore, the idea that you are entirely responsible for everything that happens to you is not quite correct. Control what is controllable. Acknowledge that you act within your environment, and that this environment has a great impact on your ability to delay gratification and create the kind of life you want for yourself. We must understand that the modern world is conspiring against us, working to reduce our power to endure even the slightest difficulty. If a hacker wants to crash a website, they try to connect many computers to that website at the same time. In this case, since the website's traffic capacity is limited, that limit is pushed and the site crashes. The modern human is actually like a website undergoing this hacker attack. Our traffic capacity is so full that we have no ability to respond to anything else. We are experiencing a kind of paralysis. We are exposed to such an intense flow of information that it fills our world. You cannot find a place where you can realize that your attention is distracted and find what to do about it. You are under attack. You need to do something. You should take time to find how your environment will support your goals. Who you spend time with is important. What we spend time thinking about and what we are busy with is important. The books we read and the information we acquire are important. But sometimes everything becomes too much. Sometimes we need to reduce inputs, slow down, and only allow what is best and what will serve us the most. Read only the best books. Spend time only with the best people. Feed yourself with only the best food. You don't deserve less. The universal secret of success. Without the discipline to say no to all other unnecessary things, it is almost impossible to stay committed to anything. Social media, a beautiful trip, dinner with friends, a new trend that is hard to resist. No one is saying these won't be fun or that they don't have potential benefits. However, these have an opportunity cost. Remember, every choice is a renunciation of something else. If what you give up is more valuable to you, these choices may not be very logical. Everything we say yes to means saying no to something else. No one can be in 2 places at once. No one can give their focus to more than one thing. Every no can be a yes at the same time, a yes to what is truly important. Turning down an opportunity means seizing another opportunity. Self-discipline is not about deprivation. It is about controlling your actions, thoughts, and emotions. Don't try to build a magnificent wall. Just try to place the brick you are going to lay perfectly. If you do this every day, Eventually, you will have a magnificent wall. Your focus should only be on placing that single brick more perfectly every day. And what will provide this is discipline, nothing else. Will you be brave or a coward? Will you be strong or weak? Will you be wise or a fool? The easy way or the right way? The choice is yours.